أهلا بيكم أعزائي الطلبة والطالبات ومع حلقة جديدة من مادة الساينس لبريب 2 تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. لو أنتم متابعين معانا من الأول احنا now in Unit 1 Lesson 4. Lesson 4 is talking about a very important compound in our life which is water. اتكلمنا المرة اللي فاتت عن ال structure of the water وعرفنا إنها بتتكون من 2 hydrogen atoms combined with 1 oxygen atom by single covalent bond, each one combined مع الأكسجين بsingle covalent bond. وكنا درسنا قبل كده وعدناها تاني في lesson 4 وقلنا إن الwater is a polar compound. This is why in between molecules of water كلهم مع بعض بين كل molecule و another molecule we have a new bond which is a hydrogen bond. والhydrogen bond دي weak electrostatic attraction ما بين oxygen in water molecule and the hydrogen in another water molecule. عشان كده بيعمل لي السبستانس اللي اسمها water جواها hydrogen bond. يبقى الwater in general عندها 2 types of bonds, covalent and hydrogen bonds. وكنا وقفنا المرة اللي فاتت على ان الwater has different أو special properties, abnormal properties. عشان كده احنا عايزين بقى نبتدي نفهم فين الابنورماليتي وايه اللي مسؤول عن الابنورماليتي دي بتاعه الووتر، مين اللي عمل كده. كنا قلنا ان المسؤول عن كده هو الهيدروجين بوند. تعالوا بقى ناخد بالتفصيل what are the abnormal behavior of water اللي احنا عايزين نتكلم عنه في lesson 4 في unit 1. يلا نبتدي السيشن بتاعتنا. Today we are going to talk about the properties of water, actually the physical properties of water. Number 1, water exists in the 3 states of matter. What are the 3 states of matter? ايه هي ال 3 states of matter؟ انتوا عارفين ان الماتر in general maybe solid, maybe liquid, maybe gas. فانا عندي اي حاجة في الدنيا يا هتكون يا اما solid يا اما liquid يا اما gas. مش هينفع تكون 3 states مرة واحدة in the same room temperature. يعني if you have got for example a piece of iron, the piece of iron دي must be solid in room temperature. واحنا قاعدين كده هنلاقي ال iron is solid. If you want to change it into liquid you need to heat it. يعني علشان انا اخلي ال iron ده يبقى liquid لازم اسخنه in a very high temperature for example. طيب الووتر بقى لا مش كده. الووتر can exist in the 3 states of matter in ordinary room temperature. يعني انت in the same time you can find the water as a solid state like the ice, وهتلاقيها كمان liquid state لو انت جبت كوباية مية عادية، وممكن كمان if you boil this water بنلاقي انه بتبقى برضو water vapor. فهي الوحيدة اللي ممكن تبقى موجودة. يعني انت لو طلعت piece of ice من الفريزر وحطيتها جنبك في كوباية، الكوباية دي كان فيها water برضو بس liquid، و at the same moment you are boiling a water in a pan or whatever. بتغلي مية على جنب هتعمل نسلق مكرونة ولا نعمل أي أكل. إذا الwater exists in the 3 states in ordinary room temperature. وده اللي هو يعني غريب about the water. انتوا عارفين حتى إن الأير for example عنده water vapor. فالwater exists in the 3 states of matter in ordinary room temperature. وده مش موجود عند أي substance تانية. تاني property عايزين نتكلم عنها عن الووتر إنها good polar solvent. يعني إيه good polar solvent؟ يعني إيه كلمة solvent؟ You may know this word from your previous study. Solvent it means it can dissolve anything. فهي good polar solvent. It can dissolve things. تعالوا نشوف هنا فيديو بيكلمنا عن الموضوع ده.
Water as a solvent. A solvent is a compound that dissolves solid, liquid, or gaseous solutes, resulting in a solution. You probably dissolve a variety of substances in water every day without even realizing so. When we stir sugar in water, or use water to mix powder paints to make different colors for art classes, we are using water as a solvent. Thus, different substances dissolve in water. Objective: to understand behavior of water as a solvent on different solutes. The chemical symbol for water is H2O. It contains millions of water molecules. During formation of a water molecule, two hydrogen atoms having 1 electron each approach oxygen atom having 6 electrons in its outermost orbit. Each hydrogen atom shares its only electron with oxygen atom, forming covalent bonds resulting in a water molecule. But this sharing is not equal because the oxygen molecule, being highly electronegative, attracts shared electron pairs towards itself. Therefore, a partial negative charge is formed at oxygen end, and consequently, a partial positive charge is developed at each hydrogen end. Molecules with partial positive and negative ends are said to be polar. Hence, water is a polar molecule, and this polarity gives water an ability to dissolve different solutes. Opposite charges on hydrogen and oxygen atoms of different water molecules attract each other, resulting in hydrogen bonds. When a crystalline salt, such as NaCl added to water, the ionic bonds between Na plus and Cl minus ions break and ions become mobile. These ions move between the water molecules and break the hydrogen bonds holding the water molecules together. Hence, water molecules become mobile. The positive ends of water molecules surround oppositely charged Cl minus ion, and negative ends of the water molecules surround oppositely charged Na plus ion.
This video explain everything from the beginning. ابتدى يشرح لنا من أول ما water is formed of oxygen and hydrogen, والhydrogen positive in its charge لأن the electrons of hydrogen is attracted much more toward oxygen. فالoxygen becomes negative in its charge أو it has a slightly negative charge, والhydrogen بقى عنده slightly positive charge. فبيفهمني هنا إنه water is a good polar solvent for some ionic compounds, like for example NaCl. NaCl is stable salt, it's an ionic compound. Ionic, it means part of it is positive ion and the other part is negative ion. تعالوا نقرأ الكويستشن ده بيوضح لنا أكتر الفكرة اللي احنا عايزين نتكلم عنها. Give reason. ليه الwater can dissolve most ionic compounds زي table salt؟ تفتكروا ليه؟ قلنا عشان water is a good polar solvent. Let's see this photo. تعالوا كده ندرسها أكتر. لو بنتكلم على NaCl, it's an ionic compound. It has part which is positive والCl is negative. ده positive وده negative. والwater زي ما انتوا عارفين H2O عندها برضو part positive و part negative. part positive عند الwater which is hydrogen. البارت البوزيتيف ده can attract the negative part بتاع NaCl. NaCl الصوديوم كلورايد لما بينزل في الووتر التيبل صوت لما بحطه في الووتر Na والCl separated from each other. فالكلورين which is negative in charge is attracted to الهيدروجين. يعني أنا هعمل لكم هنا الووتر it's O و H and H. فالكلورين it's negative in charge بيبقى attracted للهيدروجين اللي positive in charge. طب what about الصوديوم؟ الصوديوم اللي هو positive in charge يبقى attracted للO which is negative in charge. عشان كده any ionic compound أو most of ionic compounds can dissolve easily in water. Or actually we can say it this way: water has the ability to dissolve some or most of ionic compound. Most of ionic compounds can dissolve in water. dissolve يعني تقدر تدوب فيها. إن السولت داب في المية أو dissolve in water. This is the first point. إيه تاني عن الووتر عايزين نتكلم عنه ك property أو physical properties. تعالوا هنا هنشوف فيديو بيكلمنا عن some substances. Do all substances dissolve in water؟ هل any substance can dissolve in water easily ولا السولت بس؟ تعالوا كده نتفرج على الفيديو ده هيفهمنا أكتر الموضوع ده.
Is water a good or bad polar solvent? To find out the answer, let us undergo the following experiment. We will get 3 water beakers and 3 different samples of table salt or sodium chloride, sugar, and cooking oil. Add each sample to the water and start stirring. What can we observe? The table salt and the sugar samples will dissolve in the water, forming a clear solution, while the oil sample will not dissolve in water, but it forms a layer above it. From this experiment, we can conclude that water is a good polar solvent. Do you know why? First, water has a great ability to dissolve most ionic compounds, such as the table salt. Second, it also has the ability to dissolve some covalent compounds, such as sugar, which can form hydrogen bonds with water. However, other covalent compounds, such as oil, can't dissolve in water because they cannot form hydrogen bonds with water.
From this activity, did you see the difference between dissolving salt in water or sugar in water or oil in water؟ أنا هسيب لكم السلايد دي يعني نقراها شوية كده علشان نفهم the difference between all of these substances when they are exposed to water. التيبل salt خلاص خلصناها. This is ionic compound. It break up into ions فإتس easily to be attracted. البارت البوزيتيف منه attracted للبارت النيجاتيف من الووتر، وبالعكس البارت النيجاتيف منه attracted للبارت البوزيتيف من الووتر. طب what about sugar? Why sugar dissolve in water? It is not ionic. فهو ليه بي dissolve in water although it is not ionic compound and can't break up into ions؟ ما عندوش الجزء بتاع جزء positive وجزء negative. طب اشمعنى بقى الشوجر in this case dissolve in water؟ بيقول لنا هنا لأن الشوجر in this case it's a covalent compound and in this case الشوجر can form more hydrogen bonds with water so it dissolves in it. يبقى the reason behind why sugar dissolve in water, this is because ان الشوجر can form hydrogen bond مع الwater. يبقى a substance dissolve in water it's because it's ionic. لو هي ionic لأنها بتقدر break up into ions فالpositive attracted to the negative in water and so on. What about the other substances that they don't have positive or negative parts زي الشوجر؟ الشوجر can dissolve لأنه بيقدر يعمل مع الووتر hydrogen bond. طب what about oil? Oil in this case لا عنده ده ولا عنده ده، فبالتالي it doesn't dissolve in water. عشان كده الأويل if you put a drop of oil on water you will see that it will float over surface of water and will not dissolve. تعالوا ناخد شوية applications على الpoint دي ب questions. Give reason for water can dissolve some covalent compounds like sugar while sugar dissolve in water. What is the reason for this؟ نقول له علشان because الsugar can form hydrogen bond with water. يبقى الsugar dissolves because it has أو it can form hydrogen bond with water. الsalt dissolve because it's an ionic compound and the water is a good polar solvent for most of the ionic compounds. طيب what about the oil؟ هنا give reason question about the oil. بيقول لي water doesn't dissolve some covalent compounds like oil. ليه الأويل can't dissolve in water؟ أرد أقول له علشان the oil or these substances in general they can't أو they don't form hydrogen bond with water. طالما السبستانس ما عرفتش تعمل hydrogen bond with water يبقى it can dissolve. اللي عارف يعمل hydrogen bond like the sugar it dissolves. اللي عارف to break up into ions like sodium chloride it dissolves. لكن الايون اللي عارف يعمل كده ولا كده فبالتالي هو it can dissolve in water. Number 2 from the physical properties of water, it has high boiling point and high melting points. لازم نبقى عارفين ان ال pure water boils at 100 degree و it freezes at 0 degree. طيب يجي يسألني هنا سؤال يقول لي ايه؟ give reason for ليه الووتر عندها high boiling point 100 degree؟ ده رقم كبير جدا. وكمان water freezes at 0 degree ده يعتبر برضو رقم مش قليل. هو الزيرو بالنسبة لنا قليل بس يعني this is يعني رقم كبير related لأنه الwater consists of mainly from hydrogen and oxygen ودول gases والمفروض إن الجازز boils at very low temperature. أفكركم كده بحاجة زي النيتروجين. فاكرين ال previous lesson لما اتكلمنا عن ال liquefied nitrogen قلنا it boils at negative 196 فit's very 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 low temperature. طب ما هي الwater consists of gases. ليه الجازز دي ملهاش اللو temperature دي؟ هو actually لما الجازز دي combine together عملية الووتر والووتر as a substance كل molecule connected with other molecules بالهيدروجين بوند. فالهيدروجين بوند دي زي ما قلنا من شوية it's responsible for the abnormality of water. فليه هي عندها high boiling أو melting points؟ عشان this is due to the hydrogen bonds that exist between water molecules. لأن الwater molecules بينها وبين بعض في hydrogen bond ده خلى عندها high boiling point which is pure water طبعا which is 100 degree والwater freezes at 0 degree. The third point that we want to talk about which is water has low density when it freezes. Water when it changes into ice, ice has less density. Ice which is the solid state of water has less density than water in liquid state. ليه؟ عشان نفهم أكتر ليه تعالوا نحاول يعني نرسمها كده مع بعض على البورد. Let's talk now about what happens when water freezes. يحصل ايه لو الووتر حصل لها freezing؟ تعالوا كده نحاول نرسم ال structure of water as a substance. يعني now I have different molecules of water. لو قلنا أنا عندي أدي O و O أنا برسم معاكم ال molecules وهنرسم كمان O هنا و O و another O and one more O. So تعالوا بقى نرسم الهيدروجين. لو افترضنا إنه this is hydrogen و this is hydrogen نعمل هنا كمان hydrogen hydrogen hydrogen. I'm keeping just drawing different water molecules. Okay. تمام كده. تعالوا نراجع احنا عملنا ايه. معانا a molecule, another molecule, another molecule, 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 and we have these molecules. قلنا قبل كده as we have hydrogen bond فالhydrogen in a molecule it has a positive charge. It's attracted to the negative oxygen in another molecule. فاللي انا هعمله dot ده اسمه hydrogen bond. The same goes here. The same here, the same here, the same here, and there. تلاحظوا ان الشيب اللي اتكون عندنا كده ده زي ما يكون hexagon. Hexagon it's polygon. انتوا درستوها في الماث. It's a shape which has 6 sides. عندنا side 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. عندنا لو عديتوهم 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 sides، فده بنسميه hexagonal shape. Actually when water freezes الموليكولز دي اللي هي connected together by the hydrogen bond، الهيدروجين بوند بنلاقيها fixed in a way، ثبتت كده نفسها in a way ادتني الهكساجونال shape ده. زي ما انتم شايفين this hexagonal shape contain spaces in the middle. في معايا spaces هنا، ده كده empty space. الempty space ده بيخلي السايز of water increase، الفوليوم بتاعها increase، يعني الموليكولز in liquid state بتبقى nearer to each other. liquid state كل الموليكولز قريبة من بعض و flexible movement. لكن when water freezes بنلاقي انه due to the hydrogen bond، الهيدروجين بوند اللي احنا رسمناها هنا دي، الهيدروجين بوند بتخلي الووتر molecules get a little bit far away from each other، stretched كده، fixed كده in a way، بتخلي فيه shape اتكون بالنسبة لنا اسمه hexagonal shape. الهكساجونال شيب بالشكل ده في spaces هنا، فالموليكولز اللي كانت واخده space like this مكان صغير ابتدت تفرد نفسها، فبالتالي size increase، الفوليوم increase. لما size او الفوليوم of water in this case increases بيخلي الووتر when it freezes it expands، حجمها بيزيد لما بتتجمد. This is unlike all other substances، ده على عكس كل حاجه في حياتنا. احنا اي حاجه في حياتنا المفروض when it freezes it has got smaller size، هنا الووتر العكس، when it freezes it has got big size. كل ده ليه؟ بسبب مين؟ مين اللي عمل abnormality؟ زي ما قلنا قبل كده it's due to hydrogen bond. تعالوا بقى نكمل بقية السيشن بتاعتنا ونشوف الإفكت بتاع الووتر when it becomes ice بتبقى has big shape. ده ايه الابلكيشن بتاعته في حياتنا وازاي نقدر نستفاد من الموضوع ده. يلا نكمل. يبقى again water has low density when it freezes. Why? As I explained before هي ال density in general معناها يعني ال substance الموليكولز بتاعتها كانت في space معينة احنا وسعنا لها شوية، فبالتالي ال density قلت. So بيجيني give reason question بيقول لي water has low density when it freezes. أرد أقول له إيه؟ What is the reason behind this action؟ أقول له because by cooling water below 4 degrees water molecules are collected, are fixed by hydrogen bonds forming big hexagonal ice crystals. تعمل crystals كده بشيب hexagonal shape which contain many spaces between them, so its volume increases and the density decreases. عارفين دي عاملة زي ايه؟ زي ما انتوا تبقوا واقفين اللاين الصبح في المدرسة والبي اي تيتشر يقول لنا دايما كده عشان نقف مظبوط، احنا بنبقى واقفين كل واحد براحته. This is water molecule او molecules in liquid state، كل molecule واقف براحته كده. once البي اي تيتشر بيقول لنا space كلنا بنفرد ايدينا على اخرنا. بنفرد ايدينا على اخرنا دي like الهيدروجين بوند in this case. الهيدروجين بوند in this case بتخلي بتفكس الووتر molecules in hexagonal shape. الهكساجونال shape ده بيبقى فيه spaces وبالتالي الفوليوم of water increases with density decreases like this shape as you see in this figure. One more question about the water. من الابليكيشنز اللطيفة قوي في القصة دي انه المارين organisms can be alive in frozen seas and oceans. ما هو في بعض places they have frozen seas and ocean. الsurface area بتبقى frozen، بتبقى contains ice. طب why marine organisms still alive؟ ليه مش بيموتوا؟ ليه مش بيتجمدوا؟ Because by cooling water again less than 4 أو below 4 degree الwater molecules collected together تعمل لي ايه قلنا؟ hexagonal shape big crystals، وبالتالي الايس ده بيعمل ايه؟ float over water surface and keeping the water beneath still liquid and this allow the living organisms to be alive. يبقى water molecules لما عملت ice ده بقى بس على السيرفيس اريا، لكن what's behind it, what's below it is still liquid water, and so marine organisms will be alive. One more question. This is life application for us. Water has low density when it freezes, so give reason we should not put the glass bottle filled completely with water, or you shouldn't leave it for a long time in freezer. دايما كده لما بنسيب a bottle filled completely in freezer we leave it for a longer time بيحصل ايه؟ زي ما انتم شايفين كده في الصورة it breaks. ليه بتتكسر؟ ليه it breaks؟ Because when water freezes the volume بتاعها increases and this form a pressure over the bottle surface so the bottle will explode. بيتهيألي كده موضوع ال density of water من الحاجات المهمة جدا ان احنا ناخد بالنا منها لانها life application. ده يعلمنا ان احنا we do not أو we should not fill a bottle completely with water and leave it for a long time in freezer. عرفنا انه ال living organisms even although in very cold areas or frozen areas they will still alive لان ال ice just float over water surface and the water beneath will have a suitable temperature for their life. عرفنا كمان ان ال water انها good polar solvent. عرفنا انها عندها high boiling point و high freezing point which is 100 degree and 0 degree. أتمنى تكونوا كده اتعلمتوا النهاردة some physical properties about water. إن شاء الله أشوفكم الحلقة الجاية نتكلم عن some chemical properties of water. Stay safe and see you next time إن شاء الله. Thank you.